All right, good morning, we're back. It has been a long time since we've done some stuff on the Hilux, and it's a little weapon, this thing. So we obviously did the conversion, did the build, got it running, done a trip, and that's kind of it. It kind of sat there, it did its job, and we never really finished it. But now, time is tight, there's a lot to do, and if you've been watching my Instagram, the cat's out the bag. We're on international, and I'm really excited because it's the first international trip I'm doing in my own car. So we're shipping this thing to New Zealand. We don't have much time. It's going to the Brisbane show, straight on a boat, goes over there. So we've only got a few weeks to get this thing done. Alrighty, so to finish off the old Luxie, starting from front to back, I don't even know if I'm going to change the wool bar. To be honest, this will probably stay for now. It's the last thing on our list. But moving forwards, we've got the boys, Kaito and Max from Hyperfab. They're going to come through and finish off airbox intake. I've been doing some new intercooler piping because that was kind of half-assed. There was a lot of joins I got to get rid of. And then it's going down to Brisbane, a Performance 4x4. The boys there have hit me up. They do a ton of billet parts, pulleys, bits and pieces for M57s. They're gonna throw a new tune on, make sure it's all sweet for the NZ trip, tune up the gearbox a bit, maybe a little bit more power, who knows. Moving backwards more, we've got to finish the interior. We've got some new seats, some new Ricky seats going in. We've got some new interior. We've got the floor, was never done. It never had roof lining, so we're gonna put the roof lining back in. We're gonna go through, probably put carpet. I want a bit of carpet this time. I know vinyl is better for off-roading, but I want it nice and comfy in there. Then going back again, the tray, we did build the tray now with tray and canopy. I was gonna build my own canopy like we did with the first patrol. I built that canopy myself, but it is a lot of work and it's mainly time. We don't have time. So Blakey from TDI has been working behind the scenes on a tray and canopy setup for this. So we'll be heading down to Gold Coast to get that installed. Then we get it back only a couple weeks before the show. We've got full interior of the canopy to do. Fridges, drawers, all the Red Art gear. Rooftop tent, we've got Outback Tours X tent going on there. So there's a ton of stuff to happen in a very short amount of time. We've got about 6 weeks to do all that. So hopefully the boys come around soon, scan this thing, get the intercooler stuff sorted, the intake stuff sorted. Then we'll head down for a dyno, then get it back, go to Gold Coast, then go on the ship, then go to Brisbane. It's all happening, so let's rip into it. Alright, so wait for the boys to come. Couple more things. I'm a little bit concerned about this bloody trans cooler here. It is in a very bad position. I've been told from some of the guys in NZ, South Island's very wet, very sloppy. So, another thing, we're having lockers. So Harrop is sending out a couple of lockers because this thing might get stuck over there. It's very boggy. Possibly put a winch in as well. And I'm thinking about just covering that. Or even moving it because it's very cold over there. It's not gonna get hot anyway. The other thing, the bonnet, I'm repairing that because I think the material was a lot thinner than the Patrol and I had that scoop on there and the vibrations just made it crack so much more. So we're gonna fix that as well. Oh, how's the floating camera? So I've just got that in primer. We've just sorted out, put some Metal Tech filler in and a couple more braces and supports to finish the bonnet. So I might continue working on that. I did weld one of the intercooler pipes. It's stuff like this join here, no good. It's not necessary, we can weld that. So we got my new TIG welder. I had a bit of a play with the alley, so I'll weld it up and then Max and Kaito will probably come see it and tell me to rip it out and they'll do it themselves. But that's fine. It's all about learning these things.
10 toes down, I'm a ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. 10 toes down, I'm a ride with the gang. My whole life I've been doing my thing. Get that money, ain't no thing. Anything I do for the gang. Anything I do for the gang. Took those L's and I took that blame. All money in, we ain't copping no change.
Alright, Max and Kaito are here from Hyperfab. This is Max and that's Kaito. That's not Kaito. Kaito's flat out busy. These boys have been flat out actually, which is really good to see. Hyperfab is their new fab company. And if you want high quality work, see the boys. Today, airbox. What we're gonna do is design an airbox. We're really running low on time, so we are gonna hook into this snorkel. It's already there, it's seamless, it'll do for now. Down the track, we may do some twin snorkels, I don't know. So I'll hand it over to Max because Max always whinges that Sam Young never lets him speak on camera.
What we have here is a scanner, which allows me to pretty well get like a complete scan of the bay and then go home and make a nice fitting airbox that picks up some factory mounts and then come back and fit it, all in a day's work.
And when you build it, you know it's gonna fit.
You know it's gonna fit, and I can do it from my bedroom, not from a sweaty, stinky hot shed.
Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it that I'm never going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it that I'm never going. I get to it off the runway. Different incomes, not one way. Living life for the one way. I knew this would happen someday.
Alrighty, so as Max was scanning, literally timing couldn't be any more perfect. The FedEx bloke rocked up and the lockers arrived. So we pulled this out the other day. We're actually doing front and rear lockers. Now I've used e-lockers in every single one of my cars. I must have installed probably 30 of these by now. So we're not gonna run through it for a 400th time, but if you type in Sam Isles or Built Not Bought e-locker, I've done a full, like almost an hour-long episode of what a locker is, how it works, how one goes, how to install it, everything about it. So go check that out, but we're gonna whack this in. The good thing about the Hilux is the front and the rear take the same center. So I've got 2 of their 30 splines, bang them in, and it should keep us out of trouble when we're in New Zealand. Alrighty guys, so yet another car getting one of the Harrop e-lockers. Is pretty simple. We pulled the center out and then removed the actual carrier itself. Take off the ring gear and put in the new locker. We're gonna press on some new bearings and then set this thing up. So pretty simple job if you've done it a few times, otherwise go down and see a specialist. Alrighty, so I've just come across something that might be a trap for young players. Most diffs are alright, but this is one of the ones that this can happen to. So when I was pressing the new bearings on, I used like the bearing punch and it went all the way down, but it actually hasn't fully seated. So what's happened is the top of the press has gone flush with the top of the locker, but it looks like it's fully down. Like you could barely fit a piece of paper in there. But what would happen is you think it's seated, you chuck it in your car. Once you torque your carrier bearings up, say 75 Newton meters, whatever, as soon as they bed in and they actually move into place when the load of the car goes on, all of a sudden those carrier bolts may be down to like 20 Newton meters. Then next minute they back out, your diff blows up. So that can be absolutely catastrophic. So to fix that, you grab your old bearing race, so it actually goes on the outer side of the ring, grab a bigger bearing punch, and I'll literally get maybe half a mil click out of that, but it just ensures it's fully seated. So that's probably the best way to do it, so you're not getting interference from the actual locker housing. I don't know if you could hear it, but that one little click is like the tiniest bit, but that amount of movement, it'll mess up your backlash, your wear on your ring, your bearing preload, all bad news. So just keep that in mind when you're pressing on your new carrier bearings. Alright, so we managed to get that little seal through, which is always the hardest part. Setting up the backlash, I've done it so many times, I do it by feel, and Mitch challenged me. He's like, oh, you've done it by feel. I was about to throw it in the car, but he wants to check on that to see if I actually got it close. So if anything, I reckon it's a bit tight, and he's like, no, it's loose. So you want between like 0.1 to 0.3 mil, like 0.2 is kind of bang on. I reckon it's 0.15 maybe. It's a bit tight, it's about 0.1. Close, but I'm going a little bit tighter on this because brand new bearings bed in. So these are gonna bed in, like they're gonna get hot. You wanna do a heat cycle on new bearings, run up to temp, just go up the road like a K or two, come home, let it cool, and they'll kind of bed in, which will loosen the bearings even more, and we'll probably end up with a pretty good finish on that. So I'm happy with that. But that sound is good. You don't want it sloppy, you want it to just like have a little bit of rattle in it, and that's pretty good.
Shit, the Luxie is looking pretty pulled apart right now, and I can explain. So we've quickly gone and thrown the front locker in as well. Now I've done some other little shit in the cab that had to be finished off, but now we're gonna put some carpet inside this cab, because believe it or not, that whole north strip actually didn't have any. So I've gone ahead and completely stripped the cab out, pulled out seats, center console, all that. So now we've got this carpet kit, pretty average, not really cut for anything. So we're gonna lay that down, start cutting it and try and get it to fit.
1 week later.
So I've been fitting this carpet kit for about half an hour now. This carpet kit I would highly recommend if you love pulling your dash to pieces and want to pull your entire car apart and don't plan on putting anything back in. If you like a rolling, completely bare cab with nothing in it, this is a great carpet kit. So if you're going to buy one, just go to Bunnings and buy some carpet. It's the exact same. You're going to have to cut it regardless and shape it yourself. So great carpet kit if you like getting scammed. Just got off the phone to Sam. And was just explaining to him how much this carpet kit sucks, and he agrees. Also paid $300 I'm not on to talk down a business, but don't fucking buy this carpet kit. It's just a piece of square carpet that doesn't even fit remotely close.
The next day.
Alrighty, we've just put up performance 4x4, so there's a few things we're doing here. We're gonna get the motor all sorted. So first thing is a bit of a health check. The boys wanna pull the injectors out, do a bit of testing. There's a new manifold, a bunch of billet parts to go on. So we've just rocked up and they're like, bring it straight in the shop. We're gonna strip it here, right now. So I'm gonna pull it off and the boys are gonna get ripped into it. We've already got the bonnet off, makes it nice and easy. So let's get to it. So I've heard about these performance 4x4 guys for a while, and they actually gave me a hand earlier on with some gearbox shifting issues and some fault codes that were coming up on the car. So once they had it, fixed all that, but they said, Sam, come back and we'll give the thing a little tickle and sort out the injectors, give everything a check to make sure it all runs good before our trip overseas. So guys, if you're doing this conversion, you want to take your intake manifold off, what you do is simply remove all your body mounts and lift the cab up and you'll be able to get it off. We didn't plan these things when we put the motor in. It was motor then cab, so it's like, it's all learning. Got some bits for us. How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man?
So you're the man with all the flash parts, eh?
Oh, flash parts, brand parts.
Flash back to when we did the conversion. This manifold we have, I don't know whether it was BMW that fixed it or warranty or someone, it's just bird shit. And it's leaking, it's crap. So this is it's a cast one, is it?
Cast manifold.
Yeah, way better outlet. Like, that's just proper. It's gonna work so good. And what do we got in the box? Some flash
I'll let
bits.
you open it.
Oh, there's presents in here. Woo, we going red.
Going red.
Beautiful billet parts. There's another little beast in there. So that's like is that your water pump?
No, so that here replaces your power steering.
Oh, the
your
power steering one.
Yep. Side pulley. And these two replace the tensioners on there.
Yep.
Obviously they come with billet spaceners to replace all the factory parts that you need.
Yep.
So, yeah, fucking
sweet. I'll dress her up, sort the manifold, clean the intake. It's gonna be brand new.
Pulling out M57 injectors, they've got a little studded bolt. So you pull your two injector nuts off and you can wind out on the E-Torx bit, you can wind the studs out, remove your injectors. Saves a bit of time, bit of effort, makes it heaps easier.
Right, we're here with Dale and we are going to run through injector testing. Start with the obvious. Why do you test your injectors? Why do you clean them? Why are we pulling them out? How do you keep them healthy essentially?
Well, basically common rail diesel, you know, a lot of things have a service life, injectors are one of them. A lot of your common rail manufacturers like Bosch and Denso, 100,000 Ks, they're nearly done.
Yeah.
We know we can get a lot more out of them. So we can test them. A lot of guys putting these M57s in, I suppose, too. The motor's out, it's on the ground. You've probably just seen what we've been through, maybe a different case.
Oh, we had that little trick, popping them out, it's bloody man. And you were saying, some trap for young players, don't use that nut to loosen them?
Yeah, 100%. We get a lot sent in where people try and remove the injector by unscrewing this nut, wiggling them. Once the nut comes loose, you know, we can't guarantee we're going to be able to repair that for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, test them, make sure they're in good health so we can put them back in when we're going through tuning and stuff. You know, we're on the right path, we're delivering the right amounts of fuel. So yeah, that one's been through the ultrasonic.
So yeah, we'll do a bunch of testing, but this one, before they go on that, they get an ultrasonic bath. You're saying it just cycles a bit of, is it chemical?
It's a chemical, and ultrasonic, yep.
So it cleans it, not only outside, but obviously inside and the tip as well. I mean, these things aren't cheap, especially in a diesel. You want to make sure you look after them. So the same thing happened on my Duramax. Even though this car runs fine, it's had, don't know the history of it, it's probably 280,000 Ks. So I'm actually curious to see how they come out, whether they're all balanced or some are a bit off. Another thing that you mentioned is keeping them numbered.
Keeping the injectors numbered, yeah, so you know the holes they've come out of, so you can put them back in, your codes will be the same if we send them back and they pass. Also, if you have a problem with your car and your mechanics diagnose it's cylinder 3, label the injector for us. We can test it, we can run it harder.
So why do you do that? Because I've had this question before, I wasn't aware. I think they're all the same injector. Why can't you just swap them up and the computer knows?
So they have a compensation code and the engine will actually, the engine ECU will balance the injector. So there's a really fine programming code on it that gets that engine to run sweet and balanced. So we need them to go back in the same hole.
Otherwise it's got to relearn everything and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And also if we're looking for an issue with a particular cylinder on your car. If you send me 6 in a bag, no numbers.
Which one is it?
Yeah, I might choose to run an injector 4 times on the bench, get it really hot, simulate an issue you might have been having.
On a different one, Sweet, all right, let's run through and get them all cleaned up then.
basically just a pre-test. We can check our spray pattern. We get a pretty good indication on back leakage as well if something's going on. So we can hear the coil firing. We can check our spray pattern. We also see a little bit of discharge here. So, you know, if this is hitting the window pretty hard, it's probably going to fail over there. Yeah. So now we've sort of done our preliminary tests and cleaning, checked it on the little manual tester. We've got it on the heart ridge now. Very noisy. This is going to allow us to actually check flows, balance of all the injectors at different pressures and different rates. So, you know, it's kind of the be all and end all of injector testing. If we've got an issue, we can normally find it here. If we're looking to increase the size of an injector or a nozzle, we can measure it here, calculate it, know where we should be, so when we hit the dyno, the numbers line up.
All right, so we're showing us off camera. All the different tests are done. Maximum power, the emissions test is cruising, so you're just doing like 80 k's an hour. Pilot test is like a pre or post flow. Idle, it's basically simulating all the different scenarios the injector will go through. Surprisingly, this one's passed, so we're gonna run through the other 5. A car with 280,000 Ks on it, I assume they may have been replaced when they were meant to be serviced at like 100,000 or whatever. So fingers crossed they're all good. Chuck them back in the car, ready for a tune, hit the road.
The next day.
Alrighty, morning, we're back. It's the next day. The boys have already got it strapped on the dyno, done a couple of runs, so I'll give you an update of what's happened. Injectors were good. All 6 were sweet, which is rare, but that kind of makes me think it was replaced. They did change the turbo, so we got that eBay one a while ago, which was a direct replacement, but it was aftermarket and it was struggling a bit. So this, we believe, may or may not be like a one-off a genuine Beamer motor. So I think the Beamers had Garrett say that, like the factory one is a Garrett. Yep. So the boys already said it's feeling a bit better. So with the dyno tune, they got a little bit more down low. So numbers wise, it made about 200 horsepower on the rollers, on the 35s. So ECU tune was about, I think it was 280 is what was written on it. So once you get your driveline loss, it's pretty much bang on there. But it's more about drivability. That's why we put this motor in. We want it to be easy, hell safe to drive. ECU's doing its thing. All the safeties are in there, nice and reliable. So once we put this canopy on the back, having that extra torque down low is going to make it drive really nice. So, and it's a light car too. I mean, this is no patrol. Guys put these motors in patrols and they hammer too. So in a little light Hilux, it's going to be absolutely fine. So happy all the boys are done. The new manifold's in too. So do you want to show them that crack? This is the problem when you go sheet metal. They crack easy. So we're losing a bit of boost there. I'm pretty sure out the back, where is it? With the shitty weld, it was already losing a bit there. So now that it's all cast, yeah, the flange was leaking. So new cast manifold just makes it kind of hold a bit more pressure on that backside of the turbo. What else have you done? Manifold, no longer have to lift the whole cab off the car to get the manifold off.
And it's clean.
Yes, that was the other thing. We had a lot of build up from the EGR, so that's been cleaned up. So it's breathing a lot better. Yeah, the boys are happy with it. They reckon it's fucking, yeah. Oh yeah, we got the pulleys on. So lucky we showed those billet parts because they're kind of headed down there, but new billet pulleys, which means we have spares. Like I'm gonna take the old ones with me. So big thing going overseas, spare belts, spare pulleys, all that kind of stuff that can stop you on the track. So we might show you as a quick pull on the dyno, bit of drivability stuff, make sure the gearbox is shifting correctly. Then we'll load her up in the trailer and keep heading south. We've got a bit on today, but the boys have done a mint job. So happy. I'm going to feel comfortable driving it, that it's not going to kind of break down on me. So yeah, happy days. Alrighty guys, so we've got the old girl strapped up now. Big shout out to the boys. Performance 4x4 if you want your car tuned, any work done, motors, conversions, M57s, diesels. They do the lot, so come check them out. They're down here in Capella Bar. We are in Brizzy, so we're gonna go see the boys at Outback Tourer now. So they've actually got a new warehouse, which is sick, but we're gonna go pick up a tent. Still haven't quite decided exactly which one we're gonna go, but since we're picking up canopy today, we're gonna grab the tent and then we'll head down to Blakey Boy at TDI and start working on this canopy and tray setup. So let's hit the road. Alright, it's always a good time when we go down and see the boys at Outback Tourer. I swear, every time I come here, they've got a new tent that's popped up. There's so many different ones to choose from, but we ended up going with the ST tent. So I'll show you guys that when we pull back home, but we load her up and we hit the road. Alright, we got the tent home now. I'm not gonna bore you with assembling it because we've done that. So we've gone for the ST tent. I'll tell you why that's good in a second, but 200 watts of solar comes with all the tents, and we've gone for a 270 awning. Not the double wraparound like the Patrol. But the reason I like this one, the ST, for a start, really nice bloody design on top. But if you're like me and you want things simple, this is the tent for you, because to be honest, my Z tent, I've ripped all the rain flies off anyway. So from standard, this tent doesn't have any rain flies. But what it does have is a section that pops out here. There's a little arm that you put in, hold on. So if you have a look from the side here, it's your normal full size, but instead of just popping up, it has that bit that comes forward as well. And what that allows is a little moon roof in there. Come in here and have a look. Pretty sick. A little moon roof. So, no rain flies because it has that forward kind of facing design. The front door zips up instead of down. So obviously the side one zip down, this one zips up. So then if it kind of does rain, at least you got a little bit of a shade there. So I'm super excited to try this out in NZ. It's a simple setup. I hate having to put all those poles in. I'm just kind of a simple sort of person. So that is the ST tent. Go and check them out. They're a bit cheaper than the others as well, which is good. Usual features, it has all the LED lights, it has USB chargers, all of that kind of stuff. So we're gonna get this thing put on. I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. You're gonna have to wait till next week when we go down and get the canopy put on and we actually install this thing, because we've already had so much jam packed in this episode. So we'll see you then. I'm absolutely puffed because that was heavy.